How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of aged beer up in this piece in the form of Bell's Brewing. It is their Third Coast American Barley Wine. Yeah. This be a 2018 bottle, more specifically a September 2018 bottle. On the back here it says an American Barley Wine, Bell's Third Coast Old Ale starts with a rich malt caramel base and finishes with heavy hop bitterness. Sharp intense at first, it will age gracefully, adding complexity and subtlety in your cellar. Go ahead, test your patience. I picked this up like 4 hours ago at this local little just shelf-turdy weirdo beer spot that I find random old shit at. That it's not even like a cool beer place like with a bunch of beer that this just kind of got lost in a shuffle somewhere. It is literally like the most ghettoest mom and pop kind of corner deli that has this weird beer cave that if you don't know there's beer in there, like you don't even know you're allowed to go in the door. I don't know if you are allowed, but I go back there. I buy them. They sell them to me, so I guess you can. So yeah, label-wise, classic old school. You know what I mean? Bell's labeling, so I can get down with it. And as far as that beer looks all the part in of old school barley wine. I mean, rich kind of caramel in color, kind of dew to water consistency. Yeah, it's a little bit clearer than it lets up, but there's a bit of particulate floating around in there. I think you got. Ooh, is that a mosquito? Oh, that looks like an ant. Outdoor reviews, I love them, but man, the bugs get bad this time of year. Anyway, and by that time of year, I mean all time of year. Anyway, yeah, it looks part of barley wine. Not much of a head on it. Didn't expect it too much of a head to begin with, but at least we got some carbonation going on. Give it a swirl. Get a nose. I mean, a little bit of a letdown as far as the nose goes, because you are getting rich kind of caramel vibes. Being 3 years old or just under 3 years old, 2.5 years old, I expected something with a little bit more vibrance to it. Even from the hop side of things, I'm not getting a big hop characteristic. I'm not getting a big malt characteristic. It's more of a soft kind of caramel malt with a soft spiciness, almost like a rye kind of beer, rye ale kind of vibe to it, and done. You know, it doesn't smell negative by any sense. I'm not really getting much as any oxidation on it. It smells like a soft little kind of caramelly little spicy barley wine. Let's dive in. Cheers. Okay, that taste is way more vibrant than the actual nose itself. The first sip, like the instant it hits your lips, you kind of think you're like, oh man, is it really gonna give me what I want? But when you swallow, it just explodes. It explodes with rich, toffee-like kind of carameliness. It's back, like really rich too. Like it's not to sugar daddy level, but it's definitely like a creme brulee kind of vibe to it. It has this kind of rich kind of spiciness to it that you get that burnt kind of creme brulee kind of caramel caramelized kind of sugariness with this spiciness that you're getting from the hops that is still there, not overly aggressive but still aggressive enough to kind of be a cool little counterbalance to it. It's probably like if this beer started off 3/4 American barley wine, 1/4 English barley wine. It's probably now like 60% English barley wine and like 40% kind of American barley wine. The way the impact the hops come off in the beer, so it's definitely morphing into what that English barley wine will be in a couple more years. But this is absolutely delicious. I've had this before. I believe I've reviewed this before. I probably have reviewed this before more than once, to be honest with you. And I remember liking it, but I don't remember liking it this much, to be perfectly honest with you. I know it's a good beer. I know I've had it before. I know I've enjoyed it. There's something about this bottle specifically. And I don't think it's an age thing, because I think I've had older bottles of this that have done me maybe not this awesome, this proper. And it's just a pleasure. It's still an American barley wine, but leaning heavily in that English style, like I said, with that rich caramels, with that spicy on and things. Mouthfeel is beautiful. Oxidation is almost nil to this beer. You get a soft little dryness. I attribute that to a little bit of kind of oxidation, but it's not really showing its teeth all that much. It's fucking delicious. Absolutely delicious. I got a 6-pack of this for 14 American dollars. All day. Let's talk about it. Is this one of the better American barley wines that I've had as of late, aged or otherwise, yes. It's one of the better ones I've had, period. Mount Rushmore status. I can't remember having an American barley wine that I've enjoyed as much since some of the big heavy hitters, whether it be some of the American barley wines that you would get from, like, Sierra Nevada. Even then, I want my Bigfoot age and stuff like that. But even you're talking about, like, hair of the dog, things like that. I'm very picky about my American barley wines. Flying Mouflon is another one from Trogs. There's ones, this is up there in that kind of status for me, upper echelon stuff. So yes, Mount Rushmore status. Value availability on this sucker. I know this beer can be had. I know this beer could probably be had relatively decently as far as aging goes, too. I've seen these before with some time on them. I don't pull a trigger on a ton of barley wine just because it's not something I drink a ton of outside of special occasions as of late, but this can be had. I picked this up at a podunk little place that you would never imagine would have beer, let alone good beer, let alone aged beer, like 5 minutes away from my house. Put it that way, and leave you with, if you like, what will you like this beer? If you like aging American barley wines, this is like Merriam-Webster dictionary aging American barley wine. That's what this is. It's exactly what you want, or what I want, I should say. An American barley wine to age into over time. Is it peak for me? No, I think this has time. I think this has legs to go another 5, 10, even longer than that years. Become something super sweet and sultry, maybe even slightly savory in a good way, kind of rich English barley wine with a subtle spice to it. But if you're talking about just a barley wine, an American barley wine that is aged, that's showing its American side, some age, but still at its core an American barley wine, it's probably as good as you're going to get. So there you go. Reviewing the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif. If you want to check me out doing the podcasting stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of bells right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.